Hey, besties, it's happy hour. We love a good happy hour, don't we? In 2026, first episode, Besties back together.
I know this is happy hour, so technically we would not do corporate cringe, but it's February. Would you mind if someone said Happy New Year, or do you find that cringy once we get to February?
I think you get 2 weeks. I think you get 2 weeks in January to do it. But I won't say Happy New Year, but the first quarter, I will say, hope this New Year is going well for you so far. Or hope it's been you're having a great start. Or you know what I mean? Like if I'm trying to reconnect with somebody. But I'm not going to say Happy New Year.
Yeah. You still got that corporate executive in you. You focusing on that Q1 magic. You got that.
I mean, damn. Branded. I got that GE meatball. That's what we used to say. We got the brand over here. I got the cat brand over here. All the brands, you know. So we take classes in this. For those that are listening, I mean, you know, there are legit classes some corporations, organizations, businesses put you through, right? I can like feel people shaking their heads like, oh yeah. Where they teach you fonts not to use, the colors, I mean, what to say when. I mean, crazy. It's just a brainwashing thing.
We had a carabiner at Yum Brands of corporate speak, and it would be like, one was a Jeep bonnet, which was a meeting where a short meeting where you're standing up. And maybe that has to do with the military. I can't recall, but.
Wait, first off, what's a carabiner? Like the thing that holds a rope and you're like going down a mountain, right?
If you watched the Taipei 101 climb.
Oh, I did.
And then we watched Free Solo as a family, which I watched back in the day. I've barely climbed, like aside from like the, you know, little dinky one on the kids' playground. But by God, will I watch a mountain climbing movie? So we had the silver thing and all the cards attached to it with the corporate speak.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying now. I can envision it.
Like the clip.
I see it like it's like a circle thing. Yeah. Like and then you're putting the laminated cards to reference how to be.
Yeah. You can always put more like in high school, like we're elder millennials. So in high school, if you had the LL Bean backpack with a carabiner on it, you know, your keys, like, yeah, I'm an outdoors person. I walk to my car.
I don't climb, just when chased. That's the only time I've climbed. Because as a little girl, I climbed a fence once in my grandma's backyard and my foot went through a nail.
Oh.
TMI, but that's the only way I can relate to this story.
Were you being chased by grandma or an animal or?
No. A dog. Yeah. Wild dog. A wild dog in the middle of the city. But it actually is a special happy hour because Bestie Ashley has written her first book and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to give her kudos and flowers and all the congratulations because that's badass. I didn't pull the figures, but I meant to. So it's a thought that counts, they say. But a very small percentage of the population writes a book. And an even smaller percentage gets it to publishing. Like, holy shit, Ashley. Like, wow, you wrote something. What the heck? Congrats.
Thank you.
Oh, you sound so excited. You're like, oh, thanks. But you've been busy, right? I mean, tell us everything. Catch us all up. Brag about yourself.
Yeah, it has been, well, here's the book.
Yay. You can't see it, but what it is.
Yeah. Let me describe it.
It's a book, okay? It's like a rectangle that you can hold in one hand. Gorgeous cover. There's green, teal, blue on it. It says The Manager Method. And then you have a subtitle there.
A practical framework to lead, support, and get results. So it's not just a softy book about be nice and forget about, you know, everything that your boss expects you to do as a manager, but it is to thread the needle. And as Leigh knows all too well, because she's right in the thick of it, of writing and editing. And that's why in part we have been on break because we all have quite a bit going on, but so we have rejoined for this happy hour. But yeah, I wrote this book, The Manager Method, and this has been a work in progress. I say for about 2 years as an actual book, but when I went back to look at notes from in my mind, like a lot of us have a thing like book I'm going to write one day, and yay, today's the day.
Yeah. Vision board. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Despite all the advances in technology and the world, I mean, a lot of it was still about performance management and all of that. I say it in the book, I have a career quilt. So those of you that are listening that have had a storied career, or a few months ago at Thanksgiving, people asked, what are you doing with your life? Or why'd you do that? Or you've had choices in your job history, or you've had job loss. This book is all about a career quilt, wherever you are, but especially as a people leader, things what to do and say. I have a 3-part framework that you can take in any situation, which is called Pause, Consider, Act. Things to do as a manager of to stop in the moment and think about what you're doing, and how to apply that in anything you do as a people leader. This book is, just like I have talked about, I've worked with KFC, at McKinsey. This book is written alike for aspiring managers at KFC through senior partners at McKinsey, with examples across all different industries. So it's wild and it's emotional. When I got it in the mail, well, I'll tell you all first. I'll put this video on our Instagram story. So when I first started out, I didn't have an agent. I didn't have a publisher. I was like writing it like on my own, actually with a service Leigh had found that like helps you write your book and edit it and things. But my book was done. I was getting ready to publish it when Hay House, who I say they're famous as Mel Robbins, let them publish her. So I think they had maybe some extra money from that book. And so thank you for allowing my book. So they came. But then I had to go through all these rounds of consideration. And so all of a sudden you're like, ooh, it was kind of stressful, because you're like, well, I was all fine, going to publish it on my own. Now I'm stressed. And so I was sitting with my son and his friend watching March Madness games at Buffalo Wild Wings last year, when I got the word that they were going to publish the book and everything. And it was such an emotional moment. But my most emotional moment, they told me they were sending a copy of my book by package. I was like, oh my gosh. So in December, I got a package. It was like from Penguin Random House, who owns Hay House. And it was the shape of a book. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I get out my camera. I'm like, oh, I'm going to unbox this. This is so neat. So I unbox it. Well, it was a page-a-day calendar of inspirational sayings from Louise Hay, who's the late founder of Hay House. And I very much appreciated that gift. But I think on the video, I'm like, oh okay.
Oh, not what I expected.
I kept it. And so, it was kind of like a Christmas story. Like, it was kind of happy. Oh, okay. Like, I did laugh. And so I have that. So I'll share that on our stories. But when I actually got it a few weeks later, and it was it's wild. And if anyone's listening, well, hopefully they are, but those listening, obviously, if a tree falls in a forest.
Okay, you all that are, yeah.
If someone listens to the HR Besties, but pre-orders do help tremendously, the things I've learned. So if you don't want to order, you can go to get it at your bookseller of choice, or if you go to managermethod.com/book, there's the places you can get it, and you can get 2 or more copies at a discount. But also, when it releases next Tuesday, there will be 3 resources for free to accompany the book, like a reflection guide, a book club guide, and a 1-page tool for managers to bring my Pause, Consider, Act formula to life. But yeah, you will also see some kind words from Jamie and Leigh, who both wrote endorsements for the book. So I appreciate you all ladies have been there in front of the scenes, behind the scenes, and I'm very, very excited for this to come to life. And I've gotten really good feedback on it, but anyway, I'm pumped.
Yay. It's surreal.
Oh, no, it's great. Yeah, I mean, what we read, right, the dirt draft, you sent us all that. I mean, like, it really, really is good. I love the teaser you've given folks here. I think that'll definitely push them and encourage them to go out and purchase. But I am curious, what is just one key takeaway from the book that you can share with aspiring leaders and current leaders right now? Like, what's one key takeaway they can get from this book? They're going to get a lot, but just a good one.
It is to not be a tight jeans manager. And in the book, I use pants as a metaphor and say, if you've ever had like that boss that's like, send me that before you send it out, like every single time, or, just invite me to all your meetings, that. And I say oftentimes, if you've done that as a manager and you think, guilty, it generally comes from a good place. That micromanaging aspect, you're generally trying to protect your team members, protect yourself, but protect in the end, short and long term, doesn't tend to bring the best results. And so I'll say as a tease, some people then rotate to become an oversized sweatpants manager. And in the book, I talk about how you can instead become a cozy joggers manager, which is more of structured autonomy. And so I do use that as a metaphor for leadership.
So it's kind of like as a leader, you have a stick up your ass, like a butt clenching leader. You're stiff. You're not flexible.
When you said tight jeans, I thought of like a pair I have and I call them coochie cutters.
Coochie cutter leadership.
Because they're really cute, but like you can't sit in them for too long, you know? Like they're standing jeans.
Yeah, it's like my non-stretch pair that you put on straight from the dryer and you kind of shouldn't have that extra holiday helping. My goodness. And so yeah, they're restrictive, all of those adjectives, but instead to be a pair of cozy joggers, have that supportive autonomy. And so that is a topic.
I love that analogy.
Thank you.
It's clever, using pants.
It was really written for all levels of leadership, but also HR teams. If you're looking for something, and again, a book hub guide of, this could be helpful, then you can grab it. But also, if any of our tips have ever been helpful, you will notice that we are not having ads in this episode because as HR Besties, we have decided that we want to have an ad-free listening experience. So that means as we do things, your support means more than ever. So
yes, buy her book, y'all. Gah.
The Pacer bills will not pay themselves, which is going to lead into our kind of other happy hour topics. And so a little teaser there. So I mean, look, I appreciate the support. I am a realist. I will tell people say, how did you get your book deal? I say, again, I wrote the book and then I went through a lot of rounds, and candidly, having a social media audience and having a podcast audience and listeners, publishing, it's hard. It's really hard to break into it. And I've realized that. And so I do not take a second of this for granted, or anyone's eyeballs or dollars or anything like that. And so I greatly appreciate those that are supporting it. Yeah, the Manager Method out February 10th. Anyone in Atlanta, if you go to my Instagram, we are having a launch party. I made a video about this, that there's a local bookstore that had just opened. And my publisher said, for a book launch, do you have a book tour plan? No, who'd want to see me?
What does that mean? I don't even know. Where do I start?
I've looked at enough social media videos to see the person sitting by themselves and thought, I can't. My real fears come to life. And so they were like, you should go to this local bookseller and just ask them. And I went in and I was so nervous. And this lovely woman, Abby Diego at Prelude Bookstore, shout out, in Dunwoody, Georgia, I told her, I bought some things. That probably helps as well to be show you're a customer, not just could do something for me. But I bought things, and I said, I have a book. I have a book coming out in February. Immediately, she was like, how can we support you? And so anyway, we're having a launch party next Tuesday evening. So you're welcome to come there.
How fun is that? Gosh, what we should do next time we're together, let me take a video of you, at a bookstore. Look at this poor lady, look, she's empty table, because, I feel like some of those have to be staged, right? And
yeah, with a Sharpie too. We got to make sure she has a Sharpie.
Yeah. Jamie's the type, if you're ever having a book, Jamie will show up.
Yes, I will.
And she'll be like, I'll buy 10 copies of your book. I got you. That is Jamie. But I mean, look, I know we have a quick hard stop, but we do have a few hot topics that I wanted to talk about, including one that I think could make some news that has not been reported on. I have not seen it reported on, with the SHRM trial.
Oh.
Do tell.
So SHRM trial, in December, we did our end of year episode, ended with an $11.5 million verdict against SHRM for the plaintiff in her racial discrimination suit. And so the status of that, what happens is, even though the jury verdict was in December, the judge's verdict just came in, I think, January 12th. And so under my Google confirmation and memory of the federal rules, SHRM has 30 days to appeal. And they've said previously that they're going to appeal. So I'd expect that to happen. So then that, takes relatively forever in the court process. But in the meantime, in addition to the verdict, the plaintiff gets their costs, the things like what it costs to take a deposition or mileage for the witnesses that came in. And if you'll remember, a huge witness in that case was the white colleague of the plaintiff, who testified that she saw their boss treat the plaintiff differently, believed it was because of her race, raised multiple concerns about that internally. I would say Miss Mills. So she testified that she drove from Indiana to Denver, and she wasn't subpoenaed. For those no court, she wasn't subpoenaed. She drove 1,100 miles each way in December from Indianapolis or Indiana to Denver to testify at the trial. She testified, like, I wasn't even friends with her. We worked together, but what I saw happen was not okay with me. And she testified. And that, I haven't seen any of the jury, interviews or anything like that, or the like Dateline, tell me what you thought, your jury things. But it did certainly seemed like that played a lot into it. So she got her mileage paid for. So that was like, a couple $1,000s, all of that. So that SHRM now has to pay for the cost of that. What do you think the plaintiff's pacer bills were? I would play a guessing game with you all.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know either.
$8.20.
What?
Oh, I'm all six figures.
Well, no, it is because when you're a lawyer for it, like you get the pleadings for free. You don't have to pay like I do because I'm not a party to it. So anyway, but I saw that and was like, what? And I was like, oh yeah, I guess you get those for free. So as opposed to Bestie Ashley, whose bills were multiple times. But I got a certified copy of the last day of the transcript because I'd seen this. But so in the closing argument, this is where the parties can this is where you can kind of bring the creative flair, so to speak, or say things. But SHRM's outside lawyer described that white colleague that came and testified on behalf of the plaintiff. Do you know what SHRM's lawyer called her to the jury?
Oh, God. I don't think I want to know. What, like a snitch, a traitor?
No. She said she wants so desperately to be the white savior.
During the trial, she says that?
She said that in the closing argument. She said, well, she can't keep her story straight. She's talking out both sides of her mouth. But I have to tell you, I have been a lawyer. I've read a lot of transcripts. I've seen a lot of things. I've never seen something like that.
That's gross.
I mean, what does that do? What purpose does that serve?
I mean, those that are lawyers might say, well, lawyers have an ethical obligation to zealously represent your client. That's like generally the legal standard. But that being said, can you imagine a SHRM article talking about what you should call someone, including someone that testifies to an opinion that they had or in a different experience you had? But that's the one thing I would love to have heard from the jury of when they said that or been in the courtroom to see the reactions to that, because I personally have never seen something like that made in an argument.
It's disgusting.
Wow.
But I mean, also look who their client was. So there we go.
Look how that went for him.
There we go.
Well, and we did hear as well. The one thing I will say is relatable is so quickly after the verdict, the SHRM holiday party was happening. But so that Johnny C. Taylor, the CEO, had made a video to all employees.
Oh, I've watched it.
The relatable aspect of that video is Johnny Taylor, quickly recorded this message. Leigh, do you want to tell what we...
He just had some major tech issues that were really funny and really cringy. I mean, he's like, how do I turn this off? Right? Was it?
Yeah. How do I turn that? Like for...
Yeah, for like 10 minutes, it felt like it was probably at least 2 minutes trying to sign off here. How do we turn this off? And blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Oh God.
So I will say, again, obviously the verdict made, I was very surprised. That's the one piece of that I was like, let me just make sure there were no corrections to that because the lawyers get to go through, oh, that's not what I said. No. But so that lawyer that said that is now the outside counsel again, because right after that verdict, you may have seen SHRM was sued again in a different case. This is in Virginia federal court where SHRM is headquartered. And this is all about ADA accommodation, specifically a job candidate that SHRM had given an offer to. And after she got the offer, this candidate said to the recruiter, hey, I have hypoglycemia. I need to bring a service dog to work. And that went back and forth. And we've done some videos you can see on the at HR Besties pod Instagram. But the plaintiff has said that she showed that she needs a service dog. She gave documentation showing she'd had times she'd passed out. She actually got in a car crash while commuting because she'd had a glucose monitor, but that wasn't sufficient. That ever since she'd gotten her service dog in like the several years since, I think she'd had 2 instances of passing out where she'd had multiple per year before then. And so she'd given this documentation to SHRM. And so SHRM, though, ended up rescinding the job offer. And from a legal case, I mean, this is like the complaint came out. SHRM has responded. And I have to say that again, like where we are now is like discovery will happen. We'll see more. But even in SHRM's response, SHRM said, because I thought, SHRM's probably going to say like they had an allergic employee or here's the specific reasons that she couldn't have a service dog, which oftentimes the ADA is like allergy. You still got to allow a service dog at times. There's ways to accommodate both. But SHRM said in their response, for example, that SHRM admits it did not communicate to Ms. Torres what hardships SHRM may suffer if it granted her preferred accommodation to have her service dog in the office. And so what I'm really surprised about is that it seems like SHRM's interactive process, and we'll see what ultimately the court decides about whether it was legal or not, but that SHRM rescinded her job offer. And it's still a bit unclear about whether they explained why they weren't going to allow her to have her service dog.
Probably they just considered it a distraction. Or, them like, well, someone else wanted to bring their pet to work. So we said no to that. So, like just something so incompetent.
It's going to become an issue. If we let her do it, everyone's going to want to do it. Yeah.
Animals are just going to run this place.
Well, and they were like, well, we gave her accommodations. She could use her continuous glucose monitoring system. But again, this plaintiff has said that wasn't sufficient. Like, you can get breaks, use her pump, and have food or water near her workstation as she needs it. And so, again, you read it, it's like legalese, but separate from the legality, like the one thing, and I've talked a little bit about this in these videos, is when people ask for, there's a reason that when people may not ask for an accommodation until after they've gotten their offer, or that your employees, when they need one, they're terrified. Because it feels terrified, and people really worry about that. And so the one thing I'll say about this case is, unlike the Colorado racial discrimination case that took 3.5 years from lawsuit being filed to verdict, so this is actually interesting. This is in the Eastern District of Virginia, and I looked at it because it's like discovery has to close by June, pre-trial conference, June of 2026. And I was like, oh, that's fast. They call it the rocket docket. So the court, that's like the legal term. And so things move really quickly. And so unlike some of the other things, we will see sooner rather than later, and where you tend to see some of the discovery, like as people exchange things, they're not like, here's my answers filed for the court. Your Bestie Ashley, go pay 10 cents a page. That only happens when they file like a motion for summary judgment. But anyway, that will likely be a matter of months as opposed to waiting years. So we'll see on this, but I've already seen some of the responses to this, and
just one thing after another, right?
Yeah, it's always something.
God, freaking SHRM.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to talk about SHRM. I'd love to talk about places you can unite the HR professionals. So anyway.
Starting the year off with a bang.
Literally. Oh. Then they announced Oprah as their keynote speaker at the conference in June. I think what upset me the most is people in the comment section saying, oh, I might need to renew my membership. For Oprah? Like, that rights all SHRM's wrongs for you? Like, all right. I mean, I'm okay with Oprah, but at the same time, it's also like, don't you think it's kind of like a grab? Who could we possibly get that would get members back?
I mean, do they do polling? I'd love to get a poll on that, like to randomly get polled.
Yeah, they have surveys that they used to send out. I don't know if they still do, but
oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a member anymore.
They don't seem like they do.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not a member anymore, but
I had an agency once reach out about whether I'd do a partnership for SHRM, and I was like, well, I want to be candid that I did do a video talking about this strategy, and I try to bring a balanced approach of lessons for all employers and things like that. But with that, just a heads up, I don't know that this is the right partnership. They're THX.
That was a reply?
Yeah, it was pretty close to that. Like, thanks. With thanks, probably.
I'm glad you brought that up, though, because in April, I'm actually speaking at a local chapter of SHRM's conference in Virginia, oddly enough. And I've had a lot of people be like, you hate SHRM. And I'm like, no. There's two different things here. There's SHRM, the organization, and then there's the local chapters, which I was involved in the local chapters here in Middle Tennessee. I support the local chapters. It's the organization, unfortunately, and how it has been run in, the last few years by Johnny that I have an issue with. I love the local chapters and I want to support the local chapters because those might be the only places that those HR professionals in that area have access to have other people in their even career field. Like, because HR is so lean and so lonely. So I've had quite a few people reach out and be like, what's this about, Jamie? And I promise you, I talked to those people that are in charge of the local SHRM chapter, and they're great people. And I'm excited to be there in April.
Love the people in our function, right? And I do think it's about supporting people. I've spoke at a state conference, and those groups are so strong, and kudos. I mean, when I'm personally talking about SHRM or any organization's performance, but SHRM in particular, it is out of really love, respect, and commitment of the field of HR.
100%.
I mean, we need to progress. We need to be better. We at least need to, have a high say-do ratio, so when others or organizations are not doing those things, it reflects poorly, it really reflects poorly on the function. But But I haven't had anyone tell me that, Jamie, that, oh, but you hate, this. Why don't you, but you're a little louder, I think, on that front.
Definitely.
than I am. I've attended the annual conference. I'll attend again, but for me, it's the support of the people and really just pushing to, like you both do, pushing for what's best for, our field and function that we're proud to be a part of, So anyone that is shitting on that, it hurts.
Well, I'll say this. So a fun fact about Leigh is over a year before we started the podcast, Leigh had an opportunity to speak at a local SHRM chapter and she couldn't, and she recommended me. And so she reached out to me and said, hey, they need a speaker. I can't do it. Could you? And so I did the same. And I love what those chapters are doing and the resources. I'm speaking at one now in May out in Iowa. So I'm super excited.
Oh my gosh, how cool is that?
Oh, cool.
And they're doing a book buy, which I'm very excited as well. And so that's always an option. But I do think it's really important because especially a lot of those volunteers and those resources, and our good friend Tracy Spanenberg as well, in the event you're either looking for additional resources, and not necessarily as a replacement for SHRM, but also if you ever look at her site, she has a whole crowdsource thing of conferences and podcasts. I think the HR Besties are listed in there. So anyway, I just think it's more info is always helpful. So
yeah. SHRM's an option, but it's just not the only option,
Exactly.
The last I'll say, because I hinted that we'd talk about this, so I can't lie, but it's the Amazon. So the Amazon layoffs last week, where you see the SVP, the AI SVP, that's as you saw in the email from HR, we are eliminating roles. And unfortunately, no one had seen that. No one that would be affected because the AI executive sent it out before HR had actually notified people about the layoffs. But it looks like they tried to recall that email, which again, one, doesn't work, but also they referred to Project Dawn of the layoffs. Seemingly. That is my corporate cringe speak, I think, is having projects all together always feel a little corny, and it's always like Thunderbird or things like that.
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix.
Apollo. We had an Apollo once.
Oh my God.
Stop. It's not that serious, y'all.
No, but if you're one of those people laid off and you read this email about Project Dawn, Project Dawn, what? So am I being sunset? We've used sunset as cringe corporate speak. So are you sunsetting me and now the dawn is rising on the workforce of...
Yes. Oh my God.
Robots or whatever, less people, but please, whatever extent you can, don't call layoffs project.
When you said Dawn, I was thinking Donald Trump. I'm not kidding. I don't know why my brain went there. That's bad.
No, or Don Draper. Project Don Draper, Mad Men.
Gosh, it's always something.
It's always something. So we've all had a lot going on. Leigh, you've been heads down, hands down, type down, writing.
I am writing, trying to finish this up, moving to cover design, all that fun stuff. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. Exciting.
Yeah, still doing the edits and all of this. And it's, Ashley keeps me posted on her process, and I appreciate all the, hey, FYI, or you may see this, or don't do, or do this, or, so I get, the luxury of her experience here going through it, because it is something, it's a whole new world, whole new thing, so.
I did the audiobook recording, and so, and that was a process, but I know, because you're going to do it, right, Leigh?
Yes.
You have to.
No, they asked me. They want it. So they got it. I can't wait.
I asked them, I was like, should I do it? And they're like, we can do an actor. What do you think? I'm like, okay. And I was like, I can do it. I've gotten one DM, asking about doing an audiobook. So 100%, no one's told me no so far. So I'm not going to ask. But when I read the first sentence of my book, I literally thought to myself, I cannot do this. I can't read the whole book. But I did laugh because my best girlfriend, Megan, who I pranked on Scare Tactics last year on USA Network, she'd messaged when I announced my book deal, your friends keep it real. And so she's like, Ashley, will your book involve a murder? Because I only read books with a murder. And I was like, well, no. And then I was in my neighborhood women's group recently, and they brought up my book launch. It was very nice. And someone said, what's in it? Is it romance? I said, well, I forgot that it does have the word sex in it, because I forgot that I'd had a footnote about Sex in the City regarding clear communication and Post-it notes for those that were Sex in the City fans. So I said, it does have that word in it, if that makes it more appetizing. So.
Are you serious? Mine references breaking up over a Post-it.
No, really?
And I put, if you know, you know.
Oh, that's great. great. I love that.
Oh my God, how crazy is that? Us geriatric millennials shit,
Right. It's core memory, right?
Core memory for sure.
Jay, what about you, girl?
I'm not writing a book. I'm doing a whole lot of nothing, to be completely honest. I got some personal stuff going on. And that is actually where my entire focus has been, unfortunately. So we will see where 2026 takes us, but still trying to make my memes and run this business since no one wants to hire me, which actually works out well because the personal stuff has kind of consumed my life that I couldn't go back to work right now if I wanted to. So,
well, I'll say this. We have seasons.
Yes, for sure.
We have seasons, and I'm glad that the silver lining to this cloud that we all heard about last year on the podcast and then some is allowing you to have that. But how can HR Besties listeners support you in the meantime?
Yeah, I mean, just if, following all my channels, interacting, engaging.
It's a lot.
I know, like, share, like I said, we don't get paid for the content we post. It's only the branded stuff really that we get paid for. So I know people got really mad during Christmas because I was posting a lot of ads and I was like, I'm sorry, y'all, your girl's got to eat. But yeah, just like and share and follow and comment and engage. And every once in a while, drop me a DM and say hi because I need it.
Love that. All the support.
And Leigh, people can sign up to get updates on your book.
Yeah.
And the Post-it notes and all those things.
Yeah, exactly. Well, definitely follow, share, all of that, as creators, we need that. It keeps us creating, because it's very motivating and inspiring. Yeah, just keep a lookout for more and more book updates, but hrmanifesto.com, you can certainly sign up for a newsletter that doesn't exist because I'm a one-woman show. But one day I will send an email and in that one day it'll have all the info about the book, so be ready.
I feel that.
We are ready. And we will have to say, it's been very hard for workplaces. There's been a lot going on in life.
Oh, I know. Everyone hang in there.
In the world. Those in Minneapolis and particular and in the HR world, you're doing a lot to support your people and trying to figure out, what do I say? What do we not say? People have different opinions. And so you'll see different resources we put out there as well. And HR can be an especially tough place when you're trying to thread the needle there.
Mm-hmm. But don't forget to support yourself while you're trying to support others. Gosh, have a drink, besties. Have a drink. Happy hour, whatever that drink is.
Oh God, I feel like I need one.
But thank you all. We got messages like, and again, we've had between personal stuff or 40 plus podcast interviews this month. And so thank you to and written a bunch of articles. So thank you to you all who are listening and know we appreciate you all. And even though we'll come back for another episode when we can, but also none of us would have any of this without you all. And the messages of where are y'all? I don't know, it makes me tear up. So
I know. Don't worry. We're not going anywhere. We're here.
We appreciate y'all. We're online every day.
I'm still running my manager training, but I love the most of my husband had joined Manager Method last year, the business, and he loves when things come in. And if he sometimes has a call with someone, he's like, man, people love that HR Besties podcast. So it means especially less. So whether you're in HR or not, just set up a call and just tell them how much you love you. You're helping out on the home front as well. Thank you. So thank you all. This has been a real emotional time, and so it's great to be here.
Oh,
Jamie and Leigh and all of y'all listening. Thank y'all.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, congrats, Ashley. Cheers, besties. Pick up Manager Method.